Hello everyone, happy Monday. Welcome to Durrett's Take. Let's get started. So I want to go over my one sentence summary for each game. And first, let's start off with the Lions versus Falcons. So my one sentence is a different way to lose. Once again, Falcons find a different way to lose a game. And I know they knew it, but all you had to do was just take a knee 2 times so you could get the last chance field goal. Instead, well, we know what happened. Detroit can feel good about being 3-3 right now, but and they're not necessarily out of the wild card discussion. Yeah, but I just don't think they won't last long through a tough division. But anyways, good win for them, like I predicted. Browns versus Bengals, still not clutch. Bengals once again in a close game cannot win it for whatever reason. Good for Baker to lead them on the final drive though. OBJ got hurt though, and the Browns defense is definitely a problem going forward, so things aren't sunny and peachy right now, especially since it's the Bengals that just beat. But in my opinion, they're still in the playoff hunt, but it's just like barely right now. Like they have to win the games they're supposed to win from here on out if they want to get in. Steelers versus Titans, under 100. This is the key to success. Whenever Derrick Henry is holed under 100 yards rushing, they usually lose. So that's the reason why I picked the Steelers to win this game, and they end up winning. But can we get this matchup, though, in the playoffs? I feel like this would be a fun game for the football fans to love in the playoffs. Bills versus Jets. Jets actually competed. They only lost by 1 possession led during the first half, so good for them, but Gay still needs to be fired, though, in my opinion. Now, Bills Mafia, I would start to get a little concerned if I were you. Teams are starting to figure out Josh Allen, and that's not good for the team trying to win the AFC East. Packers versus Texans. The Adams Show. Devontae Adams had himself a day. No Aaron Jones, no problem. Rodgers and Adams feasted on a horrible Texans defense. And Jamal Williams did a nice job filling in for Jones. If he's out a longer period of time, then it starts to get concerning. But the Packers can enjoy a nice win after that horrible game the previous week. Panthers versus Saints. The right game plan. As you saw, once again, the Saints defense sucks, and that's even going up against Teddy Bridgewater, who they know and would know how to best defend after being on the team for 2 years. So what does Sean Payton do? Run the ball, 3rd and manageable, get those third downs. Run the ball type of thing. So therefore, he was able to eat up the time of possession and limit the amount of times the defense has to go on the field and give up a score. So that was a smart strategy by him. It's the strategy, honestly, they're going to have to do going forward because their defense is bad. If they want to go to the playoffs, they're going to have to do that every single game. By the way, how about that kick? Just a yard away from making history in NFL, the longest kick. I feel bad for the kicker, but I don't blame Coach Matt Rule for that call because it almost worked. Cowboys versus Washington. Season is over. I'm sad to say this as a Cowboy fan, but despite the fact that they're not mathematically eliminated yet, the Cowboys are done. Andy Dalton gets concussion, so he'll be out for at least the next game or so. But even then, it's just like their offense is just anemic because their offensive line's so horrible, and they're not getting a lot from Zeke, so it's just hard for Dalton to just kind of make magic work like Dak did. So this is the chance. And the defense, we already know the situation. So this is a chance for the Cowboys to fire Mike McCarthy, or at the very least fire some of the coach staff like the defense coordinator. Now, knowing Jerry, I think he would wait till the end of the season to do the firing. And that's fine, just because it's not like fire midseason won't do a lot of things. It'll appease the fan base, but other than that, it won't solve a lot of media problems. I understand that. Regardless, just like at the end of the season, he's going to need to do some changing. And also, if I'm Jerry Jones, I would, if there's players that are tradable right now, you got to trade them and get some good draft picks. Because, let's face it, you're going to need them. So if I were the Cowboys, just trade some players to start tanking so that way you can get a top 10, hopefully top 5 draft pick. Which at this point, I feel like they are going to get a top 5 draft pick. You're going to need it. Bucks versus Raiders. Bucks won the jackpot. As expected against a bad Raiders defense, the Bucks couldn't be stopped on offense. We also do have to consider, is this just a opponents, or is this high flying power Tampa Bay offense that we all thought would be so amazing at the beginning of the season now coming to fruition? If so, then the NFL needs to watch out. It looks like the Bucs are for real. Chiefs versus Broncos, identity theft. We all know that the Chiefs on this pass heavy team are this pass heavy team, and over the past 2 games, it's been the exact opposite with the running game. I wonder if they are doing this because it's just like rainy, snowy weather conditions over the past 2 games, or is this like a shift on what the Chiefs are going to look like in the future with Reid Mahomes' era? That'll be interesting to see. 49ers versus Patriots. It's over, New England. Okay, I've seen enough. My prediction on the Patriots was right after all. They are not a playoff team at this point. Again, against bad defenses came to look great, or if you can't stop the run, they're going to look great, but if you can stop the run and make them one-dimensional passing offense like San Francisco and Denver did, they're not good at all. And as I look at their record, their best case scenario, after seeing their schedule, is they're playing up 7-9. So not good in New England anymore, and they're going to be looking for a QB in the slow to QB draft coming up, or get a veteran like a Stafford or Ryan or something like that in the next draft. They're going to be looking on, in my opinion, for Cam. Jaguars versus Chargers. Herbert's first win. Congrats to Justin Herbert on having a huge day against a bad team, but still, I mean, even it's against Jacksonville, but still, a win's a win. Chargers are they're not playoff bound right now, but this is a year for them just to get that experience. So next year they can be. Seahawks versus Cardinals. Best Sunday Night Football game so far. I know the Cowboys Rams Sunday Night Football game's close, and the Patriots and Seahawks game got to the 1 yard line, but I feel like this is the best Sunday Night Football game so far. I'm glad for Seattle, especially Arizona fans who don't get the primetime spot much to have an epic game. Seattle fans, we already talked about your flaws. And you can't win every close game. They said like 10-2 last year. They won close games. It's just like you can't win every single one. You're gonna lose one every once in a while. So don't hit the panic button right now if you're Seattle. But guys, remember I said a few weeks ago that Arizona looked like a playoff team. Now I'm just going to have them the first team out, so barely out right now. But that could change in a week or two. And don't be surprised to see them in the playoffs. So now, something I want to talk about real quick that I didn't get a chance to do last week was talk about Tua. So the news broke out yesterday that Tua will be, not yesterday, I mean last week, that Tua will be starting for Miami. But I must say that this caught me by surprise. The first reason why is they have to bye this week, and then host the Rams, and now they host the Rams this upcoming week on Sunday. So, also, Tua's coming off a big injury, so I'm not sure if I want him getting beat up by Aaron Donald, of all people. Now, if Tua avoids getting sacked by him, I consider that a win for him, whether they win or lose the game. Another reason why I was shocked is because Fitzpatrick has been playing well, so why stop the momentum until he starts screwing up, basically, which he usually does at some point. Then I thought about how Burrow and Herbert are playing really well as rookies and how they're performing. I thought, and I mean, I'm thinking like if you're Miami, it's like, well, if they're having success, and then we gotta see if Tua can have success. Because if not this year, then they gotta get a quarterback in the draft this year again. If they realize they messed up, so so we'll see. Therefore, I feel like I feel bad for Fitzpatrick. I mean, he saw he said the other day that he was heartbroken because he wasn't expecting it. And in my opinion, you gotta. That's a bad call, my man. You gotta let Fitzpatrick know. You can't just drop a bombshell on him. But this will end up being the right move, in my opinion. Because right now, Miami can, after the Bills barely beat the Jets, it's just like, and New England looks like they're not going to be a playoff team. It's like Miami can win this division, surprisingly. So you never know. They just got to beat the Bills. They just got because the Bills beat them once already, so they just got to beat the Bills and split 1-1 in order to give themselves a chance to win the division. But we'll see what happens, and we'll see also if injury, if Tua is still injury prone in the NFL. Hopefully not, but we'll see. So now, for last but not least, I want to go over the top 10. So the top 10 after Week 8 from the AP poll was Clemson 1, Alabama 2, Ohio State 3, Notre Dame 4, Georgia 5, Oklahoma State 6, Cincinnati 7, Texas A&M 8, Wisconsin 9, and Florida 10. with BYU and Miami on the outside. So now, to go over my top 10, here's how mine will look. So for me, I would, after all this time, I'm actually now going to change and switch Clemson and Alabama. I'm going to have Alabama at number 1. Just because Alabama, once again, is dominating the SEC. I mean, they dominated Georgia the second half. And Clemson, I mean, they've been playing weak competition except for Miami, but not. And they beat Miami, which is a ranked team by a lot, so that's good. But it's like they struggled in the first half against a horrible Syracuse team. In my opinion, that doesn't look good. And the fact that Alabama's going to keep on having better quality games because they're in SEC versus Clemson and ACC, like, I mean, if ACC can dominate Notre Dame and then dominate again who's ever in the ACC championship game, then I would consider them moving up to number 1, especially if Alabama were to stumble on the championship game or something like that. But if not, I'm going to keep Alabama 1 for now. Like what I see for them, despite Jay and Waddle being out, which is a huge deal. I feel bad for them, but I feel like that won't really matter for them until they play like the big team, like a Florida or a Georgia or a Ohio team or something like that. So yeah, Alabama 1, Clemson 2, Ohio State 3. I agree with AP moving them, pulling up to 3. Now, the first half was very interesting. I thought Nebraska was going to make it close, but in the second half, Ohio State just showed their dominance. Now, it looks like the one thing that Ohio State looks like they're weak at, especially compared to last year, is giving up, stopping the run. So that'll be interesting to see how it is going forward. With certain teams like Michigan, who's shown us already they love to run the ball. So yeah, Ohio State 4 is Notre Dame. I agree with that right now, especially after Notre Dame whipped Pittsburgh and showed their dominance there. I don't think Notre Dame's 4th best team right now, but for right now, I agree with putting them there. 5, Georgia. I agree with that, even though they have 1 loss. 6, Oklahoma State. I agree with that. They beat a tough Iowa State team at home. They deserve credit there. Now, again, I don't think they're going to run the table, so I don't think they're going to go to playoff by any means, so that would change. But again, they're doing good right now. And how about let's give credit to Oklahoma State? I thought with all the hoopla and the coach with the shirt, racist shirt thing, and the players calling out, I just thought that was going to be a whole mess this offseason and cause disruption on the field. But credit to Oklahoma State coach and playing staff. They're playing like grown man and putting a different side. I thought it was pretty impressive. And if Oklahoma State does go undefeated or wins the Big 12, then I think Mike Gundy should definitely be considered for Coach of the Year. 7, I would put BYU there. Again, they dominated Texas State. I like what I've seen from them. And then Texas A&M, I agree with 8. 9, I would then put Cincinnati there. They show their dominance against the ranked team for the first time, so we've got to finally see them against a very good team. They showed up. And then 10 is interesting because you can go Florida like they have here, or I can go Wisconsin like voters moved them up. And I would put Wisconsin, but with the news that Wisconsin quarterback Mertz is going to be out for a couple weeks for COVID, unless it ends up being a false positive. But assuming it's a true positive and he's out for a few weeks, then that means Wisconsin's going to get a loss. So therefore, I'm going to so I'm going to keep Florida in there with Michigan right on the bubble, barely out. But I'm going to put Florida there at 10. So again, repeat, I got Alabama 1, Clemson 2, Ohio State 3, Notre Dame 4, Georgia 5, Oklahoma State 6, BYU 7, Texas A&M 8, Cincinnati 9, and Florida 10. Thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe to my channel, tell everyone about me. Thank you very much, and you'll have a wonderful day.